In news that is just fascinating to Washington and meaningless to the rest of us, CNN has obtained 2,319 text messages that former President Donald Trump's White House chief of staff sent and received between Election Day and Joe Biden's January 2021 inauguration. We bring you this story not because of any of the texts being that illuminating or evidence of a crime, but more important, evidence of extreme stupidity by people who are supposed to know better than send texts. Among them, Mark Meadows, the chief of staff, Sean Hannity, Ivanka Trump, the MyPillow guy, Republican members of Congress, including Ted Cruz. Again, it's not hard. Use an encrypted text app that self-destructs or pick up the phone, but no. Among them, December 1st, Bernie Kirk to Mark Meadows during the fight to overturn the election. Sir, we are airborne on the way to Michigan from Arizona. We're going to need a hotel for the team and 2 vehicles to pick us up. He just texted the White House chief of staff to get him an Uber. Mick Mulvaney to Mark Meadows. He needs to stop this now. Can I do anything to help? That was on January 6th. Donald Trump Jr. to Mark Meadows. This is the one you go to the mattresses on. They will try to F his entire legacy on this when it gets worse. He's got to condemn this ASAP. The Capitol Police tweet is not enough. On January 7th, Rep. Marjorie Taylor Greene to Mark Meadows. Yesterday was a terrible day. We tried everything we could in our objection to the 6 states. I'm sorry nothing worked. I don't think that President Trump caused the attack on the Capitol. Forget for a second the content of their texts. The existence is stunning. Phil Wegmann never texts anything, smartly so, joins us now. I have 9 encrypted text messaging apps on my phone. And yet, why are people who are supposed to be smart still sending this stuff?
Not to be glib here, but the next time someone wants to challenge an election, the next time someone wants to get tens of thousands of rowdy protesters on Capitol Hill where things might get out of hand, yeah, maybe pick up the phone and make a phone call instead of texting and creating a real-time paper trail. The tranche of text messages that we have is pretty remarkable because it gives you a minute-by-minute account of what these people were doing when they were trying to get a hold of Mark Meadows, trying to tell him to stop this thing.
Yeah, you think about even like the generic cartel middleman in any of these cartels. Meadows, college educated, of course, makes nearly $200,000 in the White House, was a U.S. congressman, tech-sensitive information. The cartel member didn't finish middle school, works for minimal pay, uses an encrypted app. It's not hard. If anybody should understand this, I remember Andy Card, the old White House chief of staff, had 3 messages that he would respond to with anything: yes, no, and see me.
Well, I think that what this reflects, the fact that there are so many text messages and that all of these people in the president's inner circle were really being cavalier with their communication, is that they did not expect things to get this far out of hand. I think that something that is important for all of us to note is we don't even have all of the text messages yet. Instead, this is just what Meadows turned over to the January 6th committee before he decided that he wasn't going to cooperate anymore. But yeah, I mean, I think that this is something that Washington, D.C. is increasingly waking up to, maybe for good reasons, just to stay safe and make certain that prying eyes don't get a view of things, or maybe for more nefarious reasons, to try and hide themselves from oversight. But you've got more folks who aren't texting, who are instead saying, pick up the phone, or use Signal or use WhatsApp, so that there isn't going to be this kind of paper trail.
Yeah, meet me at Off the Record, the bar across the street from the White House that I know you enjoy hanging out at, as did I back in my White House days. It goes to an important point, and we have to also realize that there's probably a lot of things on these various people's phones, on Signal and WhatsApp and everything else that they haven't used, that they did use and haven't turned over. But important to think about where this story goes from here is so many of these text messages were selectively turned over, but then leaked to CNN. How does the January 6th Commission keep any credibility of being this sort of above the fray and above politics when we're getting these selective leaks?
Well, Leland, in your intro, I think you hit on something that was really important. You noted that this is a Washington, D.C. story. And certainly what happened on January 6th, there are historical implications, there are constitutional implications. But if you are trying to fill up your gas tank right now, if you're trying to figure out how you're going to, put food on the table or live through this inflation, this is not top of mind for you. It might be interesting. You might take a closer look. But no, this is a process story. story. This is a political story.
Process.
And I think that the calculation seems to be that this might be something that could harm Republicans going into the midterm. But yeah, I'm not certain if this is played out at this point.
Excellent points. Couldn't have said it better myself. Phil, thank you. We'll be right back. Thanks for watching. Click the red subscribe button below so you can get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.